The Swain Event Podcast is brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. There are over 100 million pieces of litter on our beautiful Tennessee roadways, and TDOT spends $19 million a year picking it up. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. Brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation.
Statement from Associate Head Coach Tasha Butts, former Lady Vol basketball player. Currently at Georgia Tech, was previously at LSU. In a statement from Tasha Butts, she says, in November I was diagnosed with an advanced stage of breast cancer. While I am still processing this life-changing diagnosis and learning how to deal with it day to day, I have full confidence in my team of doctors with the treatment plan that I have put forth, and I have already begun. The tremendous amount of support I have received from my family, close friends, and Georgia Tech family has made these past few weeks a little more bearable and easier. This has not been an easy discovery. At age 39, I never thought I'll be sitting here dealing with this disease. But I have full confidence in my doctors, my faith, and who I am and who I was taught to be, which is a fighter. I want to and hope to be an example and inspiration for others who may be experiencing the same thing. Through my process, I've learned that the early detection is the best possible approach. I strongly encourage everyone to be fully aware of any symptoms or red flags they may experience and go see a doctor. Early detection can offer someone peace of mind, such a life-changing event. This is a life-changing experience for me. The number one priority for me right now is to take care of myself through treatment and surround myself with people that will take care of me to the same degree. I have an incredible support system at Georgia Tech that I am grateful for. While undergoing treatment, I will be here at Georgia Tech and in full support of our program as I can be. I am blessed to be surrounded by a Georgia Tech community that fully supports me, and I am grateful to have them on this journey. So, Lady Vol Tasha Butts diagnosed with advanced stage of breast cancer, and this one hits different because I look at Tasha like a big sister. I was a freshman when she was a senior, and when LSU came in town a couple of years ago, Tasha is the reason why we were, brought in, and me and my daughter, and we got a chance to kind of view the LSU warm-ups, and Ariana was right there. My oldest daughter was right there in the player circle with them when Nikki Farkas was the coach. And they hooked my daughter up with T-shirt, poster, and even to this day, like, my daughter still knows the players on the team, LSU, and keeps up with those players because of the experience that they, gave my oldest. This is tough. Yeah, this is tough. I hadn't even told my daughter yet because I didn't want to tell her before school. But it's gonna be tough when she does find out because, she looks at Tasha like auntie, and I know Tasha was in pursuit of being a head coach, and that was something that she was really close to being. Man, this one hits. This one hits, and so we just lift her up in prayer. We just send her positive vibes and thoughts, and there's a lot of people right here in Tennessee just thinking about you, Tasha, that love you and here for you. And cancer sucks. We've all lost someone to cancer or known someone that's battled this ugly disease, and we know the attention that's being brought to cancer, especially right now in college basketball with Dickie V Foundation and the tournament that Tennessee just played in up in New York for raising money for cancer research. We've seen cancer doesn't discriminate color, gender, what you believe in, your faith. Doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't care. I've lost a really close family member in the last 2 years to stomach cancer, and it came and went like a thief in the night. And it's tough. So we just love you, Tasha, and I haven't reached out yet. I will when it's appropriate. I just feel like right now, man, she is man, this is I wasn't expecting this one at all. But just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of one of our own is in a battle and needs us. So 865-255-03. Last break we were talking about recruiting and the receiver position, so I want to go back to the text box. Vol from Charlotte says, thank you so much for informing me on recruiting. I used to be a stargazer, but now I look at film. We have a skilled class this far. Very excited. Yeah, happy to help and provide some insight there. I think you do yourself a favor when you go and watch players' film and go and look at Squirrel White's film, like RT Vol, who said, got a chance to watch Squirrel White's film. Elite feet separation isn't all about strength. Yeah. Quick feet eats. You don't have feet, man, you will not create separation. And that's what it's all about. The strength is important, being able to fight through, contested throws, contested catches. That's super important. Speed is super important when you're able to create separation on vertical routes. But the ability to stop, change direction, use someone else's momentum against them, ain't nothing like it. And you ain't got to be the biggest dude or the fastest guy on the field to create separation. And Squirrel White has elite feet. And we don't have anybody on our squad that has feet like Squirrel White. And that's what I meant last segment when I was talking about that. Nelson from Jackson says, linebacker is the number one need, especially since we are expecting Mitchell to not be here. Banks never came off the field. Hey, we got work to do when it's a legitimate debate of which position group is the number one need between defensive line and linebacker. I'll always look at defensive line in this conference as being a slight favorite over linebacker. Like, even if the numbers are equal, like, all right, man, you got 4 vacancies, both group. I'm always gonna go defensive line because without defensive line, you ain't getting any pressure without blitzing.
You're not winning in the SEC.
You're not winning, period. And you look at the receivers this past season and how I mentioned they had their career years for Tennessee to do what they did on offense. Well, Tennessee's defensive line, we had a bunch of dudes that had their career years as well. Career years.
Matthew Butler, Jaquan Blakely, Amari Thomas really started to develop into a real playmaker. I'm excited about him next year.
So it starts up front. I'm always going to look at defensive line as more important than linebacker when the numbers are equal. But, yeah, we definitely need linebacker as well.
Yeah, I'm still sticking to my opinion of the entire defense. Every single
that's safe.
We need
that's safe.
A pass rusher. We need I think it would be really beneficial to go out and try to find the correct Juwan Mitchell this offseason to push Jeremy Banks and Aaron Beasley. I think you need to go get a corner. I think you need to go get a safety. Heck, I think you need 2 edge rushers, quite frankly. I don't know. What do you think about edge rusher and maybe, do you think one sufficient? Because you got Byron Young on one side. Tyler Barron, Roman Harrison. I personally don't think that they're where I thought they would be at this point in their career. I thought that they would be further along. Like, the way I view them, like, I go into next season knowing that I can count on Byron Young. You can pencil him in. He is going to be productive next season. I can't do that with Roman Harrison or Tyler Barron at this moment in time.
That's fair.
So I would go at least get one edge rusher and somebody that can push them, and then maybe a interior defensive lineman like a Caleb Tremblay that can help replace Matthew Butler and Jaquan Blakely.
Yep. Jason from the Borough asked if we forgot about linebacker. No, we didn't forget about linebacker.
I just said linebacker.
Yeah, linebackers. Did we forget about inside linebackers? Nope. I ain't forget about linebackers. This is not a conversation of, this group is definitely the biggest need because we're just good at this group. No, it's a conversation about, like you just said, Ben, the entire defense needs help. But you have zero shot in this conference if you don't have a defensive line. Zero, because it starts up front.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Stopping the run, helping the defensive backs in coverage by getting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, it starts up front. Starts up front.
And like, I think Tennessee has addressed those positions that I just mentioned on defense. I think that they have addressed them well in this recruiting class with guys that can develop into really good players here. But the problem with being stuck in a situation to where you have to go get developmental players because of the NCAA investigation and everything that we've detailed for months now is that they're more than likely not going to be ready to play from day one. Like Jordan Thomas, Christian Harrison. I like those pickups. Christian Harrison at corner, Jordan Thomas at safety. But to do what you did this year, next year, or even be a little better next year, you need guys that can bridge the gap until Christian Harrison, Jordan Thomas are ready to be really productive players at this level. Morvan Joseph's off the edge. Darren Agu, if you were able to flip him from Vanderbilt. James Pierce, if he is academically okay to sign during the early signing period. Like, those are really intriguing prospects, but you need somebody that can bridge the gap. And I mean, even right now, you don't really have any inside backers coming in. You've got Elijah Herring, but they view him more as an edge guy. Caleb Perry, the 3-star from Kentucky, he's very athletic, very versatile, capable of lining up at multiple spots at linebacker. He kind of reminds me of a quicker Aaron Beasley, 6'4", 215. So I don't really know what Tennessee has planned for him, whether they view him as another edge guy or whatnot. But they don't have a bona fide inside linebacker coming in. Even the defensive lineman, Jordan Phillips, like they have intriguing prospects at positions of need coming in, but you can't count on them to play from day one. You just can't. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Basketball, you can go sign somebody that can come in and play right away. Kennedy Chandler and Zakai Ziegler are immediately fixing Tennessee's point guard issues or lack of true point guard that it had last season. Tennessee's unfortunately not in a position from a football standpoint to go out and recruit instant impact guys right now. But that's what the portal's for.
Jordan says Walker Merrill is going to take off next season. I like Walker Merrill a lot. I wouldn't be surprised. Big Ben said he caught the tail end of the Square White conversation. Why are we wondering if he may come now? Is he not solid? That's because Georgia and Alabama recruited him. So there's a possibility that he may not be in this class. But, Georgia like him. Alabama likes him. ATL VFL says we need a Waddell Robinson type transfer. I agree.
That would be ideal to go out and get a first, second round receiver.
I know, right? How many players total need to be added? Need to be or can be?
About 40. They can obviously sign the 25, and then this new transfer rule kind of confuses me in terms of how many transfers you can add that won't count against your signing class. It's up to 7. So as long as Tennessee has 7 guys to transfer out, they can go get 7 transfers from the portal and add to this class on top of the 25 that they sign. And right now you've got Harrison Bailey, Brian Maurer, Tyon Evans, T. Hodge, Carlin Fields, and me, Morgan Joseph. That's 3, 5, 6. But I also I'm not 100% sure. Like T. Hodge, Brian Maurer, Harrison Bailey, Morgan Joseph, they all announced that they were entering the portal. Tyon Evans as well, all announced that they were entering the portal during the season. I don't know if that counts towards that 7 that you can go sign. Is it 7 transfers after the season that you can go replace, or are you also allowed to replace the transfers that transfer within the season?
Yep.
That's a little murky to me.
Yeah, the proposal before it was ultimately passed was put in place that will allow programs to sign up to 7 additional players in a class to replace up to 7 transfers. So, but that's a good question for you. I mean, in season, out of season, how does that work?
I think that's the one thing I hate most about my job is the numbers. The number situation. How many is Tennessee going to sign? How many can Tennessee sign? What's the deal with the new transfer rule? How many extra guys can sign based off of this, based off of that? I think that's the one question that I just do not like to deal with. And it's a fair question. There's so many different quirks and rules and a lot to keep up with. Hard to keep sorted out.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. Maybe just ask Austin, man. Austin has all the answers when it comes to that stuff.
Austin knows all.
He knows it all, man. 865-255-03. Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Good morning, Swain Event crew. Fall is here, and according to the big box stores, it's Christmas time too. This time of year is traditionally a busy one for the East Tennessee real estate market, and it will continue through the end of 2021 as well. Most people think the holidays aren't the right time to buy and sell. However, it is one of the best times to jump in the market. To find out more, just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, at 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799. Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Hour 3 of the Swain event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Iris Networks, irisnetworksusa.com. High quality, reliable fiber internet and voice. 90 days, no payment for business internet. Brings us Attaboy here on the program. We highlight positivity, giving people a nice pat on the backside for their good work. Who gets that pat on the backside today?
Velus Jones. We talked about it earlier in the show during Around the SEC. But yesterday, Velus Jones was named the SEC Co-Special Teams Player of the Year. Jones is the second UT player to be named SEC Special Teams Player of the Year in program history, joining Evan Berry, who won it in 2015. Jones, who shared this year's award with Alabama's Jamison Williams, was named to the coach's All-SEC First Team as an all-purpose player and a return specialist on Tuesday. He is just the second Vol to earn All-SEC First Team accolades since 2016, joining Trey Smith, who won All-SEC First Team accolades in 2019 and 2020. Velus Jones was one of Tennessee's top weapons this season. Swain mentioned this earlier, but Velus was the only player in the country with 700-plus receiving yards, 500-plus kickoff return yards, and 200-plus punt return yards. He ranks third in the SEC in all-purpose yards, averaging 126.3 yards per game. He led the SEC in punt return average at 16 yards per punt return.
Let go.
And ranks second in kickoff return average at 28.1 yards. His 2,851 career kickoff return yards leads all active FBS players. He was named the Co-Special Teams Player of the Week after recording his second kickoff return for a touchdown in Tennessee's win over South Alabama. And then a week later, he returned a punt return for a touchdown against Vanderbilt. Was also named the Senior Bowl All-American on Wednesday as well as a punt returner. So, attaboy to Velus Jones. He had a tremendous season. I can't wait to see what he does at the next level.
Yeah, big Velus Jones fan, man. Big fan. Remember I told y'all last year, I was like, why he not getting the ball more? It was a mystery to me. Why is he not getting the ball more? He's Tennessee's best receiver. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? And then it took this staff a little bit to figure that out, too. Took him a little bit. They didn't feature him the way
Not
they
the first
featured
month
him.
of the year.
No, they didn't.
And shout out to Alex Golish, because he practically admitted that. He said, I can't remember when he said it. I think it was in November, maybe end of October. I can't remember. But he said that it took them a little longer than he would have liked to settle on the personnel, the starters that they could rely on.
Yep, he did say that. And that when he said that, that was all you need to know about some of those young receivers and young players that were playing early but stopped playing, that they just couldn't be counted on right now. But
I thought of Joe Milton when he said that. I thought of Jimmy Callaway, Jalen Hyatt, and Velus Jones when he said that.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else on offense was... I mean, those were only really the changes from preseason.
And that's normal, too, because you have a new staff that's inheriting new players. And, yes, you can try to create game situations in practice, but they still ain't the game. And you went with who you saw that was most consistent in practice, and they didn't do that during the game. Multiple times. You gave them a chance after they didn't do it one time, and then you give them another chance, and they didn't step up. You got to move on. You got to go somewhere else. So that's what they did. But listen, man, I could have told you about Velus Jones. I've been saying Velus Jones for over a year now, that he was Tennessee's best playmaker.
Who is the better receiver entering the league, Cedric Tillman or Velus Jones?
I think Velus has a chance to be used like Cooper Kupp and be very, very productive. I think Velus could be more productive than Tillman. Because for Tillman to be successful, he got to be like a Devontae Adams, play on the outside. And can he play on the outside consistently? I don't know. But I see Tillman being like a Juwan Jennings when he gets there.
How difficult will it be for Cedric to prove that he can run all the routes that an outside receiver in the NFL does when he doesn't necessarily do that at Tennessee?
It won't be difficult, because if you can run fast as you can, be able to stop on a dime and cut at 45 degrees in either direction, you should be able to run any route.
So that's the basic.
Yeah, man, get the cones. Mm-hmm. Get on the cones. Change directions on the cones. And if you could do that, then you should be able to run any route on the route tree. That's what it's about. We know that like this offense didn't do a lot of that. There's a lot of vertical routes, which hey, it's cool. But as long as either Cody Burns or you doing it yourself, which you should be doing it yourself too, get on the cones And this is a drill that's old as dirt, that still will help you be able to change directions, and that is a 4-cone drill, and you put the fifth one in the middle, and you go M drill, you go W drill, you go box drill, you change directions. You go 45-degree angle on each side, each direction, and it is the mother of all receiver drills. That will help you get your hips down. That will help you be able to change directions, get in and out of your breaks as quick as possible. That's a drill that when I'm training a receiver, that we do that every day. And we do it every day before you even touch the ball. When I used to evaluate receivers all across the country, we did that drill before any balls came out of the bag. Because the message was sent to them that you don't get the ball until you earn the ball. You earn the ball by getting open. That's how you earn the ball. If you're out here slipping and sliding and falling, you don't deserve the ball, and you won't get the ball. The ball won't come your way if you slip and fall on the route, especially if it creates an interception. So, to answer your question, yes, Ben, I think Cedric Tillman can develop that part of his game and show the NFL scouts that he can run routes, because he is going to put that work in during the summer. I have no doubt about that.
Do you think he has that skill set right now, and it just needs to be refined?
Yep.
Like you see the stopping on the dime, and
I see his ability to run routes right now. I want to say it was the Ole Miss game where it was third down and some change, or second down some change. I'm not sure the down distance, but he was the only receiver. It was a heavy run formation, and they went curl with him. And he created great separation versus a DB that's faster than him. He had about 2 or 3 yard separation. He caught it. And you know when Cedric Tillman catches a curl or any type of route on the outside, he's going to stiff arm a DB. He did that, made a move, picked up extra 2 or 3 yards. I saw that route in person. He could run the curl routes. He can run the dig routes. It's whether or not they ask him to do it more and put it on film. But when scouts come to Knoxville, they'll see him do that in practice. They'll see his ability to be able to stop, change directions, running routes. They may not see it in the game, but they'll see it then. And then when he does his combine, when he does his pro day, they're going to make him do them. He's going to have to run a full route tree during combine and pro day. So he'll have plenty of opportunities to show that he can do it, or if he can't do it. I happen to think that he will be able to do it.
Would you consider him a good route runner right now?
I would consider him one of the best route runners that we have, and I would consider him a good route runner that could improve.
Do you think Javonte Payton is an NFL receiver? Nelson from Jackson asks this on the text box.
I think Javonte Payton is an NFL receiver, but he has to be able to run routes, and he has to be able to make tougher catches in traffic.
To my untrained eye, who knows very little about the receiver position, it seems like he is a one-trick pony.
He has to prove that he's more complete.
Do you see those traits of being a good route runner in him?
If he puts the work in. Yeah, if he puts the work in. Sometimes you just don't, you know what you don't know. So I think it really depends on who he trains with, where he trains during his pre, draft training. Some guys go out to Arizona. Some guys go to Atlanta. I've seen Houston. It's going to be really, really important that Javonte gets with the right group of people that trains him, because straight on speed is not a question for Javonte. The question is his ability to change directions and making tough catches in traffic and things like that. So I think anytime you have that speed, that 4.4 speed, you have a chance. But now you have to show the other parts of your game, and that's what Javonte is going to have to do. Not a lot of numbers. Not a lot of numbers.
A lot of touchdowns, not a lot of receptions.
Yeah, not a lot of numbers. In the touchdowns, NFL personnel is okay. Well, those were plays that were designed. How many plays did
he make, like on him just being a really good receiver?
How many Robert Meacham against Cal plays did he make? Taking a hitch, making a couple guys miss, and then going the distance, or did he make a play because it was schemed up to put him on a linebacker versus Florida. Like,
how do you think they'll evaluate the opening touchdown against Kentucky when he caught just a simple screen? And
they like that. That touchdown is more valuable than the touchdown against Florida.
Even though he had like 3 really good blocks in front of him, and all he had to do was just run straight to the end zone.
More impressive than the Florida touchdown.
And the reason I asked that one about the Kentucky one is, again, because the blocking is what really sprung him loose. It's not like he made a guy miss and got to the end zone.
Mm-hmm. So he's going to have that question. He has the answer about his lateral quickness and catching the ball in traffic. I wouldn't put money on Javonte being drafted, but I would put money on Javonte making an NFL roster and have an opportunity to make a practice squad and build his way up.
Tennessee needs it.
The thing that's tough about Javonte is he didn't catch punts like Callaway. That's what helped Callaway out a lot. And Javonte is going to have to be a really good gunner on special teams for him to make a team.
Sure, it would be nice to see Javonte and Velus make a roster, because Tennessee can put out a graphic with Jawan, Callaway. I know CP's playing running back right now, but you can throw him on there. I mean, then Velus, Javonte.
I think he has 1,000.
Every time I tune into a Falcons game, he's toting the rock, a little toss sweep.
The Falcons put up a graphic of Cordell doing something that no one else has done in the league.
I feel like, am I missing a Tennessee receiver? Jawan, Marquez.
Josh Palmer.
Yes, Josh Palmer. Yes.
Josh Palmer.
So, I mean, you could, if Javonte and Velus make an NFL roster next September, you could put a graphic out with 6 guys.
Don't you dare do it.
Why?
Don't say what I think you're about to say.
Why? Oh, I wasn't going to say wide receiver you.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying, you can still put out a graphic, just don't put
wide
receiver
you
on it.
Put a graphic. We got a lot of work to do before we start talking about wide receiver you.
Hey, all I know is Cedric Tillman got the Joey Kent stamp of approval.
Oh, yeah. So the graphic for CP that the Falcons put out was a 1,000-yard season for CP. He's first career 1,000-yard scrimmage season. So it's CP's first 1,000-yard scrimmage yard season. That's pretty strong.
Yes, very strong.
Arthur Smith finally figured out how to use CP. All these other guys didn't know how to do it. Vikings
moved him to running back. Bears.
I think CP was with the Patriots. He won Super Bowl with the Patriots. The Patriots beat the Falcons. He was on that team.
Oh, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to the phones.
We got Turkey Man.
Turkey Man, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning,
I'm enjoying the conversation you got going on there.
Thank you, sir.
A little bit of cold one.
I was wondering. I couldn't tell if I was imagining things or you sounded different.
No, I've got a cold.
Well, I hope you feel better, my friend.
I hope so too. Yeah, it's been a couple of days now. Hey, you're talking along the lines of receivers. How will the offense that we're running? How will it affect the other, like the offensive linemen, the tight ends, the quarterbacks, so on and so forth, being looked at in the NFL? Because we are a little different. Apparently, we run a little different scheme. So, how would they look at us and what we run in those players on offense versus something like Ole Miss? As close as I can think of. Any different? Any?
Yeah, with Tennessee, Ole Miss, I would kind of look at us the same because of the tempo.
Right.
But it's going to be about how you win your individual matchups. And can you win? That's what it's about. Can you win? Can you win against the guy in front of you? And if you can, win against players in front of you in this conference consistently, then you can play at the next level. And if you are coachable, if you are smart, if you are dependable, if football matters to you, if you're playing football for the right reasons, I think you can say, all right, Cedric Tillman, you didn't, play in this pro-style type of offense. You did play in a up-tempo, tempo type of offense, but you work your ass off. You're a good player. You're coachable. You're smart. We know you love the game. we can take your game and it can translate to the NFL. But if you are someone that solely relies on the tempo and you can't get open unless it's drawn up for you by Josh Heupel, and you don't win one-on-one matchups, but you got a bunch of catches, it ain't gonna matter. If you got a bunch of tackles, it ain't gonna matter. Are you winning one-on-one matchups in this conference consistently? That's what it's gonna be about, Turkey Man.
How did it affect Florida players when Steve Spurrier was there versus, say, us, when in that era of the 90s?
I mean, that's a good question, Turkey Man, because you look at those Florida players and, the receivers in that Florida era, and this hurts me because I looked up to these guys as superheroes, man. Like, I wanted to play receiver at Florida when Spurrier was there, and you had Rito Anthony, you had Chris Doran, you had Jacquez Green, you had those boys, Ike Hilliard. Like, I wanted to be like one of those dudes. But notice those guys didn't have a long career in the NFL. I mean, the system was built for them to be great at the college level. But the pro level, they didn't have a long career. But they still got you there. And what you do when you get there is on you. So that was that fun and gun passing offense where sometimes little receivers wasn't valued like they are now because you can put guys in the slot and still have success. But Florida's offense then still different now because it's tempo based. I think the one position on offense that's going to be judged the most is offensive line and quarterback. Because, all right, offensive lineman, did you really win your battle because you're better than the guy in front of you? Or did you win your battle because he's just tired? Like Cooper Mays said that he preferred going up against Jordan Davis' backup more than Jordan Davis. No, excuse me. He'd rather go up against Jordan Davis rather than Jordan Davis' backup. And when you hear that, you're like, wait a minute. Jordan Davis is the best defensive tackle on that team. But tempo just wasn't his favorite because he's a big old boy. So that means that Cooper Mays is NFL ready because he had more success against Jordan Davis than any other lineman? No, that's not what it means. So that's the questions that offensive linemen have to ask is, all right, how are you winning your matchups? Are you winning your matchups because you got good technique, you meet the measurables with long arms, you have a strong, violent punch, you're flexible in the hips, you have great effort, you finish the blocks, like all these things that scouts judge your offensive lineman on. Do you pass those tests? Do you check those boxes with or without tempo? And quarterbacks will have to answer that question too. That's why I think Hendon Hooker's decision whether to leave or come back is not as easy as what people may think because he has to answer those questions too. Like, would you be able to make those same plays and be the same player if we put you in a pro-style offense? I don't know that answer. I don't know.
Guess what email I just got?
Rick Barnes talking to the media?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
because I don't get no emails.
Because you don't show up.
I get emails about football.
I don't know why. Oh, well, I'm not going to be able to go.
I still should get emails.
It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern. At Thompson Bowling Arena.
Is it Zoom?
No, it's in person.
Can you do Zoom too?
No, just in person.
All right. Sorry, man.
Sorry, Rob Lewis. You'll have to handle the video tomorrow.
Yep, you got it, Rob.
Let's go, Robert.
Robbie.
I just hope Rob can wake up that early.
Robbo. You got it, man. Got it.
Dang. I mean, I just don't know what the media is going to do without me. I mean, I had all these tough questions lined up for the good deacon. I was going to get some answers on why Justin Powell's only playing 2 minutes in the second half, why Brandon Huntley Hatfield is not playing, and why's Olivier taking a step back last 2 games.
Yeah. Big Bad Voodoo Nate says Megatron played in triple option Georgia Tech. He turned out pretty good. LOL. Yeah, let's name one of the biggest freaks in the last 25 years of NFL history. Megatron didn't matter what offense he was going to play in. It didn't matter.
Well, it speaks to your point about what you're talking about with Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, I mean,
of like NFL folks saw what Calvin Johnson could do even within that triple option offense.
And they'll do the same thing with Tillman.
What's the story on him going to Georgia Tech? Do you know?
From Atlanta.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, was that like his only offer though? Because how could you be a receiver and could you be a receiver and want to go play in that? Did Georgia Tech ever call you? Do you remember?
Dude, I got recruited by every school. Every school.
I know, but I was trying to see if you could remember your reaction when Georgia Tech called you.
Well, Georgia Tech wasn't running that offense then.
Oh, they weren't? Mm-mm. That's how old you are?
No, that's how uninformed you are. How about that? Calvin Johnson, 04.
That's how young I was.
Recruiting class. Well, he was a 4-star.
So if he signed up to go play in the triple option, doesn't that mean that?
It wasn't triple option 04.
So Paul Johnson got there in the midst of Calvin Johnson's career?
They got there in the midst of Demaryius Thomas's career.
Oh, so he wasn't there that far back.
Demaryius Thomas. Calvin Johnson, 04. And
who was his coach when he got there?
Maybe it's O'Leary, I want to say. Probably had to be O'Leary. I think O'Leary was the one before.
Where's Chip Payne and Rodney and Austell? I know y'all know.
He had an offer from Georgia. He had an offer from Notre Dame. He had an offer from Miami.
But he went to Georgia Tech?
He chose Georgia Tech.
Ugh.
He was 6th rated in his position, 37th overall player in the country, 6'4", 210 out of Tyrone, Georgia, Sandy Creek High School.
He was just George O'Leary.
He was just George O'Leary?
Well, they're not. They're listing this weird on Wikipedia.
Who's the coach, Ben? Come on, man.
I don't know. It's listing it weird.
Come on, Ben. Tell us.
Oh, here we go. What year?
04.
Oh, Chan Gailey.
The NFL guy.
It was George O'Leary, then Mac McWhorter for a year.
Chan Gailey.
Then Chan Gailey from 2002 to 2007.
NFL.
I thought Paul Johnson was there more than 10 years. He was only there 08 to 2018. I thought he was there longer.
I can understand Calvin Johnson going to Georgia Tech, man. You get Chan Gailey come in there and say, hey, man, NFL background.
So he didn't play in the triple option, unless it was his senior year.
It was Demaryius Thomas that played in triple option.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I remember Demaryius Thomas playing triple option.
Yes, I do remember.
I remember Georgia Tech tried to put out a graphic about. Remember that?
Yes.
Remember that? Remember Georgia Tech tried to put out a wide receiver U graphic?
Yes.
I was like, man, if y'all don't sit down somewhere with that.
What's worse, that or Tennessee claiming wide receiver U with the graphic I mentioned earlier?
No, we're claiming original wide receiver U. Original wide receiver.
Rodney says that Calvin's mom wanted him at Tech due to the education.
Yep. That makes sense. 100%. But no, Calvin did not play in triple option, looks like. But Demaryius did. I remember Demaryius. He was in a 3-point stance at wide receiver on the outside.
Oh, that poor boy. Could you even get into a 3-point stance?
My high school coach wanted me to try it. I was like, Coach, this is not it. Can't be coming out here lining up with my cool spat wristbands and cool gloves with my hand in the dirt on the outside of wide receiver. This is not going to get it. No, this is not going to work.
Did he ever try to play you at a different position?
Yeah, running back. I played running back. I played safety. I played it all.
So you played defense all high school?
Played some safety. Mm-hmm.
Did was there ever a conversation at Tennessee about playing a different position?
No, never. They know better than that. They know better. Demaryius Thomas was drafted by the Broncos in 2010. So Demaryius Thomas and Calvin Johnson.
Let's not mention Demaryius Thomas on the day that the Steelers are playing, okay?
Demaryius Thomas made Tim Tebow look like John Elway. Oh, man. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Y'all have a great, great Thursday. Swain Event. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Peace and love. We are out.